From really deep cuts into X-Men mythology to crazy levels of telepathy from the cuckoos of all to an elephant in the room that we need to talk about. Let's start right now and think about what's going on with Gifted Season 1.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
Up to the mid-season of Gifted. And you know what? This series is fantastic. I'm not quite sure where to start with this review because everything about it is just so awesome. I like the fact that they have a nice family structure. I like the fact that they have throwbacks to the X-Men movies and comic books. I like the fact that they went into how the mutant powers work and they really thought through which people they were bringing in. I like the fact that our main character isn't a mutant, well, was a mutant, isn't a mutant, or whatever. And I love the fact that we get to talk about being Omega level and beyond Omega level. That is so awesome! But okay, for those of you that don't know, what I do here is review stories and come up with concepts on how and why we tell these stories. I do reviews as they come up, and I do theory videos every Sunday. I do throwback Thursdays for older stories. And if that sounds interesting to you, click the subscribe button because I'm trying to build a whole community here. But speaking of a community, we have a community of mutants, one without a Brotherhood or X-Men leading them. And we have a great history, the whole idea of Fenris being a member of the Hellfire Club, all of that stuff. And we have a group of people who are trying to protect the world. They're called Sentinel Services. Yeah, the Sentinel Services get into a bunch of really dark places, not even gray, just out and out dark places. But you have to remember where they're coming from, and the fact that they are trying to find a way. And our main character even has been given reasons why he feels the way he does. And yeah, Sentinel Services isn't exactly Sentinel robots, but that's cool too. This show has done a lot to bring about the gray areas, to show us both sides of the story, and I have to commend them for that. I also love the fact that the mom says things like, well, I was one of those people. Well, maybe this is our new normal. But there's a lot to unpack as we get into this discussion, and I hope that it does become a true discussion and that you can reply to me. But for now, I'm throwing this up here.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
Okay, so now that we're talking individually, there's a bunch of awesome things I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to mostly focus on character point of view and the themes and symbolism because, well, those are the ones that I think are most important in this. Technically, the plot is just linear with a few flashbacks. But the first character I want to talk about is Mama. Kate Strucker is one of the characters that I think is easiest to overlook at the beginning, although plays a bigger role at the end of the mid-season here. And she's one of those people that you just know in real life. One of those people that says, well, no, I'm not racist. I have mutant friends. To be honest, she reminds me of my grandmother at the beginning of the series, where she would say something without thinking. Of course, all of that changes when she finds out, oh wait, my kids are mutants, and now I get a first-hand look at how bad that is. But where it would have been easy to write her as just, oh my god, the hysterical mother, they wrote her as a nurse, as someone capable, as someone that the Resistance needs. And at the end of the day, what the Resistance really needs, in my humble opinion, are humans. That's one of the things I always felt was missing in X-Men comic. The allies, the people who are normal humans who also want to help fight to save the world, and who also want to bring peace between mutants and humans. In fact, one of the big flaws of X-Men comics is that they sometimes write their humans as caricatures, which is why I don't think they fit well in the MCU. But I'll get to that in a minute. Let's continue on first with the family dynamic. And good old Dado, Reed Strucker. Reed starts out as one of those people who's trying to do the right thing. And you have to remember, he's a prosecutor, not a police officer. So his job is to determine the guilt or innocence and then try to pursue it. And from the sounds of it, he was a pretty good lawyer. But even he didn't realize just how corrupt the system was. He never really took the time to think about why, when Sentinel Services got involved, things got worse. But oh boy, when his children were declared to be mutants, he realized how bad it was that there might be Sentinel Services involved. Like good old Mama, he has a character arc all of his own, And I want to just say the fact that he goes back and forth between whether he's there to help the resistance or not is very realistic. The fact that my family is what matters to me is very, very important to him and makes the character seem very true-ish at the very least. And the fact that by the end of the mid-season we now believe that he's a mutant himself who's been cured makes him very unique in this family dynamic of powerhouses. So what about those kids? You know, those two normal, ordinary kids that just happen to have godlike powers? I'm not entirely sure if my matter manipulation theory was correct, but if it is, then that once again gives them the equivalent of one of these gems, the reality gem at that. Being beyond Omega level means that they can go right past things like those restraining collars when they want to. And it also means that it might be possible for them to manipulate things at such a level that we can't even fully understand it, like beyond normal human comprehension. But before that, there's just two badass telekinetics that have major control issues. She can push things together and make them denser, and then control them. He can rip things apart. Control, not so much. Lauren and Andy are really just two kids, though, and they have a bunch of their own problems. She's trying to fit in, but still trying to help out. He's not fitting in at all, and his life is being torn apart by bullies. And that's pretty pretty normal for kids their age. They're actually on opposite story arcs, where Andy learns control and she learns to let go. And you can even see that even though she's normally the responsible one, she was the one that wanted to tear the building down when they were using their powers together. If the show gets the chance to go on to a season 2, and in the last couple of episodes of this season, I hope that they go into the dynamic of what it means when they hold hands. The whole I see through your eyes, you see through mine. Because I think that that's a very important dynamic on how they can be together and how close they are as siblings. But I do want to renew my objection at the end of last episode. I really want to see someone rip one of these collars off during the moment that they let the powers work for a second. I mean, seriously, don't rip apart the room, rip apart the friggin' collar. But okay, let's talk about the secondary cast members. Specifically, Dreamer, because this character is part of why I think that the entire theme and symbolism is so important. Because they take this character and showcase why it is people are afraid of mutants. Being able to manipulate energy is scary. Throwing energy blasts or optic blasts or whatever you want to call them is scary. Blowing things up is scary. But telepaths, the ability to manipulate your memories, the ability to make you question reality itself because they can put an illusion, or in her case, just directly manipulate your memories, is scary as hell. And she, even when trying with the best of intentions to use her powers responsibly, messes things up and hurts people in ways. We saw it with Blink, and then we saw it with the guy from Sentinel Service. Anyone could write an over-the-top villain who just goes, "Get those damn muties." But Jace Turner isn't that. In fact, he's a career law enforcement officer. He's someone who believes in the cause, and he's someone who lost family to a mutant uprising or a mutant incident. And he doesn't want to hurt people. In fact, the most telling moment isn't even just how he acts and how he treats people, but when he finds out that Dreamer was the one that was killed in an accident, he goes, "No, we're going to talk about that." And I want you to think about that for a second. If there is anyone who, she fell down a flight of stairs, should have been an acceptable answer to, it's Jace. But it wasn't, because he really is, in his eyes, a good guy trying to help. But Gifted doesn't do cardboard characters, two-dimensional stock characters. We get to see from everyone's point of view. And that's important, because we can see from Jace and Dreamer's point of view what happened, and that she didn't mean for this to happen. The looks on both of their faces in the interrogation room when he told her what she did to him, that was great acting, that was great writing. That's why I love Gifted. When I sat down to write what I was going to talk about in this episode, I had every intention of starting out and primarily talking about these four characters, the ones they advertised as the team: Polaris, Blink, Eclipse, and Thunderbird. 3 of them I read about in the comics, and all 4 of them I have truly appreciated the way they're used power-wise and personality-wise in the show. But you know what? They really felt like secondary characters when I sat down. The main characters were the secondary ones. Interesting thing I could probably do a whole video on. But for now, we have Polaris, who is going strong, and started the season off by being put in jail, but has managed to stay relevant even when she wasn't on screen. To be honest, she's managed to be both powerful and vulnerable, and one of the best characters. But her love story with Eclipse is what makes Eclipse so awesome. In fact, it kind of brought a tear to my eye that first time we saw the whole Aurora Borealis effect with their powers. Whoever thought that up is a friggin' genius. That is perfect. I mean, that's Disney princess level of perfect. Overall, the Gifted team is awesome. And maybe I'll do another video at the end of the season about the team and how I feel it should move forward. But there's one other person I want to talk about. Because they, the Cuckoos, are going to change the way things work for the last couple of episodes, let's be honest. With the mentioning of the Hellfire Club, I'm sure that that's where she's part of. The Stepford Cuckoos are powerful telepaths, and you saw exactly what happened at the end of this last episode when you piss off a powerful telepath. It looks to me like they're going with the triplets. I don't know if that means they were once quintuplets and then lost 2 of their sisters or not, like they did in the comics. But any way you look at it, the Cuckoos are powerhouses when they work together. In fact, right now in the comics, they're part of a whole storyline where people are trying to fight the Phoenix Force. And, well, we'll see where this goes. I get the feeling that between this and Ahab, we are going to have some really badass bad guys coming up. But I am curious. Do you think that they're going to write these guys as just out-and-out bad guys, bad women? Or do you think that we're going to get to see from their point of view as well? Because one of the things that they managed to do so well with Sentinel Services was humanize them. So tell me, do you think that the Cuckoos we're going to see from their point of view and see how maybe even the Hellfire Club has a good reason for what they're doing? Do they hate and fear humans as much as humans hate and fear mutants? Is Gifted going to continue to be this great series that has some powerful thoughts as to how it ends up that the cycle continues over and over again? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. But now it's time to talk about the real thing that I'm going to need to hear your opinions on. The thing that I hope starts an interesting discussion here. What happens now that Disney and Fox are one company? Everyone's talking about 20th Century Fox being acquired by Disney, which means they could, in theory, combine the MCU and the X-Men and possibly the Fantastic Four, I'll talk about that in a different video, into one universe. And I've always had this problem with X-Men and Avengers in the same universe. As a kid, I liked it in the comics because the Avengers always seemed like a second-string team to me that didn't really matter. It was the X-Men primarily. But once you really have Captain America in the same universe as Wolverine, you have to ask, why do people hate and fear Wolverine but respect Captain America when they were both soldiers fighting in World War II? What makes a mutant different than Spider-Man? What makes a mutant different than any member of the other superhero teams? Why are the Fantastic Four beloved, but the X-Men hated? I'll tell you right now, the world and the theme they've set up for Gifted doesn't fit the MCU. And I'm fine with that. I like having different types of comic book movies and TV shows. And I like Gifted. So I hope that they don't. I hope they let this run its course. I hope they let it do a season 2 and 3 and just continue on and not try to bridge it into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But for now, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this. How excited are you for Marvel getting back the X-Men and the X-Family? Next week I won't be doing a video because it's Christmas. However, I think for New Year's Day I might do another video. And your comments from this one will feature in that. Starting with Gambito, not sure how to pronounce that, and his insightful look into what he thinks is going on. And I hope he's right. But we'll talk about that more in 2 weeks. For now, I hope you have a happy holiday. And if you could just give me a quick Christmas present of a like and a share. That would be great because it helps build the community. And of course, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and join our team. In the meantime, I hope that you understand that what I want to do here is talk about these things. So I need your input too. Discussions go two ways. And as with this, I will be leaving comments from you guys in my videos. I hope that whatever holiday you celebrate, you enjoy, and get ready for a happy new year. For now, I'm going to get ready for how we're going to walk through the heart of the stories we tell next year. Have a good night, and thanks for watching.